back to my channel, or welcome if you're new, and today I have a very exciting video. It has been a long time since I've been active on my channel, and I am very excited to say that I'm done with school, I'm done with college, and it was so stressful, super busy semester and year in general. I just basically had no time to post, and I'm finally back. And I have been playing The Sims nonstop since I finished. So, in saying that, I've been playing with my favorite Sim family ever, the Sheffields. And I thought, why not make another Sheffield Legacy video, current household update, as a way of returning to my channel. It was like my second last video, I think, on my channel, and it was 3 months ago. So this video is going to be a doozy. Let me just tell you, I have a 6-page recap script because I just felt like I had to write everything down, or else I would totally forget, because so much has happened. And before I break your hearts during the video, be mentally prepared for this one, emotionally prepared, because a lot of things occur in this one that even took a toll on me, if I'm being honest. But in saying that, let's get into the Sheffield Legacy current household update video number 3, I believe. Most of this video actually focuses on Ace and Hayden. As you guys know, the past 2 updates, barely paid attention to them, so it's finally their time to shine, and with some things planned and some unexpected. In the last update, I'd mentioned that Ace and Hayden had planned on moving in together, and this is exactly what they did. They moved into a 2-story apartment in the fashion district, since Hayden is actually a style influencer, and it was the perfect place to go for her career. When they moved in, they also adopted a dog named Lady. She is a Charles King Spaniel, and she is the sweetest. Ace has such a soft spot for her, and so do I. She's super cute, and I think she might be one of the first ever Sheffield pets. I know they used to have a dog named Bella. Don't worry, for any OG fans of the Legacy Challenge, I didn't forget about her. But, Ace had his mom and dad help them move in, mainly because I wanted to spend some more time with Brynn and Alistair before they became elders, but I also thought it'd be something that they would do. Obviously, Ace is their, well, I was about to say baby, but he's actually not the youngest, Leo is, but he's like their baby, and of course they would help him move in. But after getting settled in, Ace got straight back into what he loves the most, streaming, and at this point, he was actually beginning to realize that he wanted to do more for himself. He had been streaming since he was in high school, and he wasn't bringing in as much money as he needed anymore, especially considering where he was now living, this big, nice 2-story apartment in the city, fashion district of all places, and he set this thought aside for a while. However, he had bigger things to think about, which I will get into later. For now, we'll move on to Clover's household. Here's a picture of Philip and his son, Ollie. This was taken right before he had aged up into a toddler, so unfortunately no infant pics, because this was way before the update. Some of this video, pictures in this video, are from February, but a majority of it is actually from the past few weeks. Well, I should say past few days, the past week. But anyways, Ollie had aged up, and Clover and Philip were beginning to realize that their apartment was way too small for their family of 3. Ollie had been placed in Clover's old recording room, and it just wasn't ideal. She would have to go in there when her son was trying to sleep, and it just not the vibe. But the 2 of them had spent some more time trying to decide where they wanted to move, and Clover always loved the city ever since she had lived there, and it's, honestly, been so great to her, and it's where most of her family lives, so she loves being there. However, Philip wanted to move to Henford-on-Bagley. He loved the idea of a farm lifestyle in a sweet and secluded town, and he's also an animal enthusiast, so having a farm with animals sounded like such an incredible idea for him. However, it wasn't really what Clover had in mind, but she wasn't opposed to it. While Ace and Clover had been having some sweet moments with their partners and families, Leo had been having some opposite luck. He'd been struggling with his career for some time now, and it was beginning to make him miserable. He was in the business career, and he honestly just never knew what he wanted to do with his life after high school, and he took it and got a degree in business just so he can earn some money. He had no idea what he wanted to do, but at this point of his life, he just felt like this was a dead-end job. And, while trying to discuss these feelings with Dana, she kind of started an argument with Leo. She wanted to keep his high-paying job to help pay for their apartment, to help support his kids. She works as a personal trainer. She racks in some good money as well, but Leo's also definitely helped. His college degree allowed for him to have a solid job and income, and Dana thought that starting all over again would be a risky idea. Leo argued that she didn't understand his perspective and that this topic eventually became a sensitive subject for the two of them, causing a slight rift in their relationship. Leo cared about his family more than anything else in the world, and the twins were about to become children and start going to school, so he listened to Dana and stuck with his career for a bit longer with his daughters in mind. Leo and Dana had thrown a party for Noah and Luna. Noah, by the way, is in blue and Luna in orange. And they also invited the whole family. The other toddler cousins had shown up too, which was adorable. Here is a sweet picture of Kelsey and Will's daughter Blake, the twins' cousin, because Kelsey is Dana's sister. And here's little Ollie, so cute. I love him. He is so adorable. But yeah, Ace was so glad to be able to spend some more time with the girls, as he had honestly really missed spending time with them ever since he had moved out of Dana and Leo's apartment. And the girls had aged up into children, and it made Leo and Dana realize how much they had grown up since high school. And it also made me realize how much they had grown up since high school, because they were my babies, and now they have children, almost teenagers in my game, by the way. Insane. But let's go back to Clover's household. She's been spending some time thinking about where the perfect place to move would be. Philip, like I said, had expressed his feelings towards a sweet and simple life, and she honestly liked the sound of it. Clover was just afraid of how it would all affect her career. Being a social media influencer, the small Henford life didn't sound like it would work, but she tried to look towards her son. She knew that she loved being a mother and was unsure as to whether or not she wanted more kids after Ollie, but moving somewhere family-friendly and peaceful sounded like a great place to go. Philip had been a bit worried about taking Clover away from the city, as he was afraid he'd be taking away from her family, so he went to Hayden for advice. The two of them had gotten quite close since he and Clover first started dating, so he felt safe to go to her. They kind of bonded over both being animal enthusiasts and just kind of bonded over being boyfriend and girlfriend of Sheffield kids. It's a crazy family, so it's so easy for, their partners to bond with one another as well. But Hayden had told him not to worry, because nothing could break the strong bond that the Sheffields had. And trust me, that is so insanely true. They will always pop up at each other's places when I'm playing in game, and it's kind of adorable, and I love it for them. But speaking of Hayden, ever since moving in together, Ace and Hayden, had been thinking about things regarding her future with her. Both of his siblings were starting families or got married already, and he felt as though he was finally ready to make that leap in his life as well. Him and Hayden had gone from best friends to completely in love, and he couldn't imagine his life with anyone else. She was the most supportive person that he had ever met, and she was everything to him. Before the two of them had gone to the twins' birthday party, they had actually talked about potentially starting a family, and Hayden said she was looking forward to the day that they could have kids. With all this in mind, Ace had told Hayden that he had made some plans for them to go on a date, since they had been a bit too busy to go out for a while, especially with moving in and all that jazz. And Hayden was super excited, and the two of them, they'd all gotten dressed up to go to a fancy restaurant, and the entire evening, Ace was a nervous wreck. Being socially awkward, he couldn't help but think of all of the ways his proposal could go wrong. After having dinner, the two of them went out near the docks, and Ace began proposing his love for Hayden, and she was starting to catch on to his plan, and soon he pulled out the ring and asked her to marry him, which, to no surprise, she said yes. And I've honestly been waiting for this moment since part 5 of High School Years, when they their first kiss, and this moment was so adorable to me. I've actually been waiting for it for longer because I've always planned for them to get together. I created her with that in mind. So I love this moment. I was so giddy when it happened when I was playing it. It was adorable. But after dinner, the two of them had gone back home to celebrate, if you know what I mean, and Aiden had actually approached Ace with the idea of trying for kids for the first time, like they talked about before. So, this was how they celebrated their engagement. After a few weeks, Hayden started to feel sick, so she took a pregnancy test and found out that she was expecting. She was huge right away, and I was suspicious that the Sheffield twin curse, I say with air quotations because it's not a bad thing when I say curse, but you know what I mean. I had a feeling that was coming into play, and also, while Hayden was expecting, Ace had decided that lady shouldn't, and he took her to the vet. Her little cone was adorable while she had it. I didn't want her to have puppies, so she got spayed. Ace and Hayden thought that their pregnancy was like a dream. He was the best fiance and father that he could be, always helping Hayden out and taking care of her as much as she needed. The two of them actually threw a baby shower using my Growing Together pack. Well, I say mine as if I made the pack. No, I own it. I purchased it. But they invited all their friends and family, and it ended up being 2 twin girls for Ace and Hayden, obviously leading the Sheffield twin curse to return. They had people wear pink or blue, depending on what they thought the babies would be, and I made sure to get some adorable pics with the future aunt and uncle of the baby, Leo and Clover. While at the baby shower, Ace had also asked Leo to be his best man, Clover to officiate, Noah to be the flower girl, and Luna to be the ring bearer. Ollie's not old enough, or else I totally gotten him. But this way, I actually like how both of the twins are kind of included in the wedding, and it's not just one or the other. But I also had the shower double as a birthday party so that I could age up Brynn and Alistair into elders, and in this moment, I almost shed a tear at the thought of them. Of my absolute babies becoming old and nearing eventual death. Brynn has honestly impacted me and my channel in so many incredible ways, and I'm so grateful for her. Even though my time while playing with her was very short and I didn't love it, she created some of my favorite Sims. Her and Alistair created Ace, Leo, and Clover, and they are my favorite Sims I think I've ever had. Not just on my channel, but in general, so I'm very grateful for Brynn and Alistair, and I'm gonna cry when they die. But yeah, moving on, towards the end of her pregnancy, Hayden had some complications, leading to Ace taking her to the hospital. While she was there, Hayden had been forced into labor with some terrible news. One of the twins hadn't made it during childbirth and passed away. Luckily, one of the twins survived, leaving Ace and Hayden with a beautiful baby girl named Sunny. They named her this due to how she was the only light shining after the darkness they felt losing their other daughter. But to help brighten the mood a bit, I'll move on to Leo and Dana's household. The twins were growing up and they loved spending time with each other. They were total opposites, just like Leo and Ace used to be, but instead they are growing up being best friends, while Leo and Ace used to hate each other, but are now best friends. Luna had actually also discovered a loose tooth, and she hated it, so she tried wiggling it all the time, but eventually she got fed up and pulled it out on her own. The girls got used to spending a lot of time together, especially because of their parents bickering. It became a more frequent thing. Leo would express how he felt like his job was a dead end, and Dana wouldn't understand where he was coming from. I love Dana, but she doesn't understand Leo's side of the story because she's in a career that she loves and a career she always knew she would kind of do. But that's not what Leo is experiencing. This fighting eventually became worse when Leo quit his job. You think it would have been better, but Dana thought that he had no backup plan and thought that he was making an awful decision. Leo was actually stuck for a few weeks before he eventually found an interview for a job at a school. His degree also allowed him to qualify for a certain principal position, and he felt as though this was much more up his alley. After becoming a father, he honestly really fell in love with kids, and his kids are his biggest priority, so that he thought, I love kids. Working at a school would be a great opportunity for me. And he ended up getting lucky, and he was chosen for the job. He told Dana, and this helped the storm calm down for a couple of days. After starting this new job, Leo had been extremely stressed and overworking, staying at work late, and he was working hard and later than he thought it would be, and it affected his relationship with Dana. She got upset that he was working so late, especially in this new career. He never had these kinds of hours while he was at his old job, and, she didn't love it. The two had gotten into their biggest argument yet, leading them to decide that they should take a temporary separation until they could come to a conclusion on how their relationship should go. And here's some photos from Blake's birthday to lighten the mood. I didn't have the time to throw a party, but she aged up into a child too and was joining the same school as her cousins. She was an adorable child and is a super kid too. And I just wanted to show her because even though Kelsey and Will are not our main Sims anymore and Blake's not really an important Sim, she's still a part of the family, so why not show her? After dealing with the heartbreak of their baby, Ace and Hayden knew that they still had a beautiful baby girl to look after, and they loved being parents. Sunny was such a sweet baby, pretty calm and happy for the most part, very gassy though. Also, she looks like her mama so much. She is pretty much Hayden's twin so far. She's super clingy and loves being held by her mom and dad. Hayden and Ace try to get her to work on her motor skills now that she's old enough, and she seems to be doing a pretty good job. She has the cutest smile ever, despite not having any teeth at this point. Even though they have their baby to take care of, they also have a wedding to work on, and after some long thought into who she wanted, Hayden had asked Alina to be her maid of honor. She would have asked Clover, but she was officiating, so there was no one better to ask than her best friend from high school and her past college roommate. I feel like Alina hasn't been on my channel for a while, which is a crime because I love her. She is super cute. And getting her to be Hayden's maid of honor was the perfect opportunity to bring her back. Wedding duties were pretty much done, so Hayden and Ace had a lot more work to do with their baby girl. She was enjoying her life as much as possible, while her parents were stressing out with their wedding plans. Speaking of Ace, he'd finally decided to take his streaming to a bigger level and got a full-time job as a gamer at the same place that Philip works as a programmer. Philip got him the interview, Ace went in, they knew him from his streaming, and they brought him in. But speaking of Philip, going back to them, Philip and Clover had made the big decision to move to Henford on Begley. They packed up all their things from the apartment and moved into a cozy 2-bedroom house. At first, Clover wasn't too sure how she felt about Henford, but she adjusted to the cottage and farm life and decided to incorporate it into her channel. Ollie was loving the move as he had more play space and his own bedroom. Not to mention the adorable chicks that they had. He's loving them. I wish I had a screenshot of him with them, but just know he is super cute. Leo and Brynn had actually come over to visit, proving that the Sheffields can't be separated. Leo had also stayed over at Clover's place, and he claimed that it was because he missed her and wanted to spend some time with her and his nephew. But the truth was that he wanted to spend some time away from Dana in the apartment since their temporary split. They were taking turns between staying in the apartment and going to stay with their siblings, so it was finally Leo's turn, and he went to go see Clover. But he wasn't ready to tell his family about the split, as he was worried about whether or not they would take the news poorly. Heading back to the city, the day had finally come for Hayden and Ace's wedding. Hayden was looking stunning, and I wish that I had gotten better pictures of her because none of them did her justice. The two of them had a sweet park wedding with all their friends and family, and Sunny had even came wearing the cutest little yellow dress. Hayden was a busy bride with this little one on her hands because she was constantly wanting to be picked up by Ace, and it actually almost ruined their ceremony. In the middle of it, he just stopped doing the vows and went to pick up Sunny because she wanted him, and it was so funny, but also very annoying because I just wanted to take screenshots. But Noah had tossed flowers along the aisle, and then I mistakenly got Leo to walk Ace down the aisle instead of Brynn like I'd planned, but I went along with it. It was a sweet brotherly moment to show how much they've grown since they used to dislike each other in high school. Ollie also made a cute appearance during the wedding to help Luna with the rings, and Luna had glitched out sadly as Hayden walked down the aisle alone at first, but at least that meant it was Hayden's moment to shine. She looked breathtaking. I did get some pictures later for the memories with Alina, however. And Ace and Hayden had exchanged vows and rings, and they were officially married. I feel like me and Ace, both of us, have been waiting for this moment for such a long time. I kid you not. But this wedding went a lot worse than Dana and Leo's for me. No one would listen to what I wanted them to do, but it was fine. I went along with it. They had their first dance, which almost made me tear up, and then they ruined the moment when cutting the cake because the interaction failed because Sunny once again wanted Ace to pick she wanted Ace to pick her up. And the night was long, but something they had always dreamed of, and the two of them went back home to celebrate again, if you know what I mean. During the wedding, things were quite awkward between Dana and Leo, and this was something that Ace and Clover noticed. So they decided to invite him out with the girls for a splash pad day while Dana was at work. Luna and Noah were growing up and getting close to their time in high school, so they understood that something was clearly off between their parents. But spending a day with their cousin and family at the splash pad was a great way to take their mind off of things. While the kids were playing, Leo had finally revealed his relationship issues with Dana to his siblings. They were very supportive and gave him some advice. They told him that they loved both of them, and no matter what they decided to do with their relationship, they would both support them. They wanted Leo and Dana to do what was best for themselves and the girls. No one would judge them, whether they decided to work things out or separate for good. Leo went home with this advice and decided to have a talk with Dana. The two of them had been fighting for months, making up and fighting again. It was like nothing resolved their issues. They loved each other so much, but things weren't how they used to be when they were in high school, or when the girls were born, or when they first got married. With age and with their lives, they started to spread apart. Living together, having family, having careers, and lives of their own made their bond drift apart throughout the years. They had never loved anyone else in their lives and had only ever had each other. But they knew that they had to do what was best for them in order to remain best friends with each other. It was ultimately a heartbreaking decision, but it was one that the both of them had known was a possibility for a while. Leo and Dana decided to call out their marriage and get divorced. They remained close and co-parenting their daughters, but being together wasn't what they needed anymore. It might have been what they wanted, but they knew it wasn't what they needed. Dana decided to move in with her sister Kelsey for some time until she could find a new place in the city so that they could remain close with her daughters. And Leo wanted the girls to be able to see their mom whenever they wanted, and keeping a close family relationship between all four of them was their priority. But it was the end of Dana and Leo as a couple. Anyways, guys, that was a doozy. Getting to the end and having to read the news about Dana and Leo was honestly so painful for me. I went into game, I'm getting teary-eyed. I love these Sims. They are my babies. I kid you not. I'm so obsessed with this household. No one understands. But when I was doing the divorce in game, I almost teared up. It was so hard for me to make that decision, and I was so close to just not doing it. But I know that this has been a plot line that I have been planning since starting high school years. A lot of these plot lines, not too many of them, like Philip and Clover was a big surprise. And, like, Ollie. That was all a surprise. But stuff with Dana and Leo, their entire family situation, that has been planned since before starting that Let's Play back in August. So, it was really hard for me to make them divorce, but I knew I had to stick with something that I've been planning for, I think, like 7 months, is it almost now? Maybe 8? I had to follow through, stick with what I had planned, and even though it was literally the hardest thing ever for me to do in The Sims, I did it. I'm not happy with my decision, and I'm sure none of you are as well, but, you know, it really shows how mature they are and how much they've grown. Like, they're staying best friends. They're going to stay amazing co-parents, and they're going to be very close. And at the end of the day, they both love each other with all their hearts, but being married wasn't really what was best for them anymore, which is sad to say, but it's true. And I'm going to get a little sappy with Ace and Hayden. They are so cute. They're finally married. I'm so happy for them. I hope you guys loved the fact that this part focused on Ace, because I feel like most of the Sheffield Legacy, except for that one episode where he got with Hayden, and most of this, did I say Sheffield Legacy? I meant High School Years Let's Play. And this series, they have not really focused on him, so this was kind of his time to shine, even though a lot of it also focused on Leo's divorce. But that's okay. Clover didn't get much spotlight in this part, but she has had a lot in the past 2 videos and in High School Years, so I think it's fine, because Clover has been around since Sheffield Legacy. She was a toddler in that. Like, we never saw the twins, Leo and Ace, as, like, toddlers in that. We saw their birth, but we didn't see them as toddlers. I mean, we had never seen any of them as kids, but that's okay. I don't like kids that much in The Sims. I'm, like, dying for Luna and Noah to age up. I'm gonna make it happen soon. I was just waiting for some of the other kids to get older, so it makes sense in my, like, headcanon brain, like, what their ages are roughly, and everything like that. But yeah, I'm gonna finish rambling, and I'm going to get to the end of this video. In saying everything, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this update video. It has been a doozy, so much information, so much has happened just within this past week I've been playing. Like, I think maybe, like, 2/8, maybe 3/8 of those screenshots were from February, and the rest have been from the past week. I don't remember which is the start of the past week that I've been playing, but majority of this has occurred within the past week, so just know I'm constantly playing with these Sims, and I love them, and I will continue to play with them. I'm actually playing with my Apple Whims household again. I have not touched them in, I think, since I started Sheffield Legacy, if I'm being honest. Not Sheffield Legacy, but High School Years. I haven't touched them since. But I'm actually back to playing that household, and I think I want to do a current household type of video like this with that family as well. Go check out my Apple Whims playlist and challenge. It's my own challenge. I made it. But it's saying everything, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up. Comment down your thoughts. Comment down below your thoughts on the events that occurred in this video, because there was a lot of things that occurred, okay? I want to know what your thoughts are. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot to me, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everybody.